Before we get started with everything else, I've got one thing, or a couple things I want to talk about. And one of them is last year we had a tremendous surprise. Last year, if y'all remember, for those of you here, Jason Sisk, who's with us tonight from Tennessee, he killed an amazing animal and got me in a lot of trouble. I had to do an interview on Fox News because of it. I don't like doing that. But anyway, it was so fantastic and so large that some local, very generous people had it mounted for us. And Jason, if you would come down here, we'd like to present you with your trophy from last year. Everybody give him a round of applause. Now all you got to do is carry that back over there. Thank you, sir. Thank you for coming back, and we are so glad that you had a good time and were able to take this amazing hunt. Now, all right. Obviously, this is an unusual mount, and it's extremely large. And it took a lot of work to get this done, and it wouldn't have been possible without the medicine cabinet and Scott Meeks. I know he's here. Come on over here, please, sir. We would like to present you, and it's not much, it's not near as big as that trophy, but we want to say thank you for making this possible and helping Jason out and helping us out, and we really appreciate it. All right, we got one or two more things to do. I really want to thank these next two gentlemen because none of this is possible without them. Without them, we couldn't have the hog and we wouldn't need the mount. Kevin Cruz and Justin Stone, I know you're here. You're hard to find. But none of this is possible without you guys. And we just want to say thank you. If you come up here and we hand you this flag, no, don't nod at me. I appreciate it. And I just want to say, I want everybody to know that none of this is possible without you. And that's a picture of Jason in the hog right after you killed him. Thank you very much. I don't have to be so shy. I know y'all did it together. Justin, thank you very much. Thank you. Y'all got a picture yet? All right, I got one more, and I'll let everybody get back to business and doing fun stuff. But it's Gopher Plantation here. I know they are. He's right over here. He's hiding from me. But ladies and gentlemen, Gopher Plantation, who does this for a living, donates his hunts as well. I want to say thank you to them because they make a lot of kids happy every year, and I want to say how much I appreciate it. Let's give them a hand.
Well, I work with Adams and Lot Reptiles, as he was saying. I also have TNL Outdoor, which is another hunting organization I do. We have a booth set up over there. This is my brother Logan Lott. He also helps me with TNL Outdoor. Now we also work with the Nature Conservancy, doing tours around the Boston Rocks Preserve area, and we also work with Coffee General State Park, where we actually have our permits to have our reptiles and do what we do.
We are licensed through the state to do this, and we're about to get started here and show y'all some of the animals we brought out, starting with talking about snake safety. So how many of y'all, by show of hands, are afraid of snakes? Well, maybe after tonight, some of those hands will go down because most of the snakes we have wouldn't hurt anything other than mice. So I'm gonna let Tyler talk a little bit about some of the first things we've got over here.
As we're going over here and getting this for a minute, I'd like to say if there's any kids and y'all see any snake out in the wild, please do not pick it up because you may not know what kind it is. Please contact an adult near you and let them handle the situation. Now these snakes that we have right here, they're eastern hognose snakes. They come in different colors. This is the black color that we have right here. Now, a lot of old timers refer to them as spread outers or puff outers. That's because when in danger, they can spread their head out like a cobra. If that don't work, they will eventually play dead. You can mainly find them in sandy habitats underneath boards or any debris around the ground. These right here, this is an actual small one. They do get way bigger than this. And about last year, we almost had a world record, but we lied 2 inches on that.
And the reason they get the name hognose snakes is because of one thing, and that's the pointed shape of their nose. It's turned up just like a wild pig. Now they use this nose to dig around in sand throughout the year to find toads. This snake only eats amphibians. He might occasionally take a reptile or two, such as a lizard, native lizards we have around here. But their favorite food is toads, southern toads, oak toads, and Fowler's toads around South Georgia.
Alright, this snake I'm bringing out right here is called a southern ringneck snake. Now yes, he may be small, this is as big as that he'll ever get. The reason they call them ringneck snake is because they have their orange ring around their neck and they also have an orange belly. Now that is what they show predators when something comes up and tries to eat them, because the predators, they think that it may harm them, so they leave them alone. They really only eat worms, slugs, and they will occasionally eat smaller snakes if they can find it. They're mainly found in woodland areas, especially in bark of pine trees, under logs, anything of that nature, you'll find them. And they're actually a pretty common snake around here. If anybody does any garden work, you may have seen them around in your flower beds.
Alright, now the animal I'm bringing out right now, he's fairly small, but there's one important thing about this little animal. This animal is a threatened species here in Georgia, and this is an actual alligator snapping turtle. It's only a baby. I'll move this mic down to y'all a little bit. Alright? This animal, full grown, can live to be about 200 years old. Some have even been found along the Okmulgee and Satilla rivers with musket balls in their shells from the Civil War era. Now this little turtle, even though he's about this size right now, he'll grow up to be about 250 to 300 pounds full grown. Now a lot of what old timers around here call alligator snapping turtles are not alligator snapping turtles. They're regular common snapping turtles. Now alligator snapping turtles, unlike their cousin, the common snapping turtle, can be found in restricted areas across the southeastern United States. These animals, especially in Georgia, are only limited to 3 or 4 rivers: the Alapaha, the Satilla, the Swanee, and the Okmulgee. That's about one of the very few places that you will find these turtles in the state of Georgia.
Alright, this next turtles that me and my brother have right here, they're eastern mud turtles. Now there are a striped mud turtle, but they'll have 3 stripes down their back. This is about as large as this one gets right here. As you can see, he's trying to whip around and get one of my fingers because they are pretty aggressive. They mainly stay in deep ponds where there's plenty of mud at the bottom. That's when you never hardly see them, except during breeding season. When it's time for them to lay eggs, you'll see them crossing roads or on sandy banks, stuff of that nature. Also, about the only thing they do eat, they'll eat aquatic bugs, insects, any kind of meat that they can find, and occasionally aquatic vegetation. But these right here, they are common, but to many people they're uncommon because many people can't see them because they're all the way down in the deep ponds and stuff and only seen crossing roads.
Now these 2 little lizards we got right here, if you can see them, this one's actually biting my finger right now. No, it's not hurting me, they don't have teeth. These lizards are called green nose. We have them all over the southeast, and a lot of what people did as kids around here, they'd make them open their mouth and they'd clip them on their ear and wear them around as earrings. Well, they like to latch on to things, but mostly crickets and small bugs, and my finger, for instance. So, come mating time, they have a red dewlap. That's a flap of skin under the neck that they like to flash around to show females. Right here, as Logan's holding, is a female green anole. You can see how bright green it is. The one I'm holding is a little agitated, so he's turned brown. People like to call them chameleons down here. Well, their name is a green anole. That's A-N-O-L-E, anole. But people commonly see these along fence posts and old farmhouses. They like to stay close to the ground to where they can find bugs such as crickets and mealworms and things like that.
Okay, this next snake I'm bringing out right here, again a small snake, about as big as he'll ever get. This is a smooth earth snake. There is a rough earth snake, but the difference in the rough is he'll be a more dull color and he'll have more thicker scales. Now this is a shiny looking snake because he has smooth scales, therefore that's where he gets his name, smooth earth snake. They're extremely uncommon to see in the region we live in because they're mainly found underground most of their life. They'll find a little hole and go in there and stay most of their life, but occasionally they will come out and you can find them under logs or any other debris. They only eat mainly insects and invertebrates that they can find around the area. Now also, when picked up by humans, these snakes and the ringnecks I showed you earlier, they will never bite a human, and they're some of the coolest little guys to find.
All right, now these precious little guys we got with us right here are eastern box turtles. Now you can see on the front of these turtles, they're brightly colored. Their skin has different colored spots. Each turtle is a little bit different. Even from the shell pattern to the pattern on their skin, they're all genetically different. Now box turtles are what we like to call a keystone species here in Georgia. That means that these little guys are really important to South Georgia's ecosystems. We live in an area called Wiregrass, Georgia. Now that region spans all the way from the Piedmont at Macon down to the cliffs of North Florida. Right? They have sandstone cliffs made out of what's called Ultima Hog grit. Now, these turtles like to live in those areas because they feed on other plants, tubular plants such as the wiregrass and other plants like the wiregrass. But there's one thing about these guys. They're subject to a lot of damage on their population. After a rain, you'll see these turtles crossing paved roads or dirt roads. A lot of people look at them and see how cute they look when you get up close and personal with them. And they decide they want to take them home and keep them as a pet. It doesn't work out too well for the turtle. These turtles can live up to 80 to 90 years, and not nearly any of the babies survive. Out of a hatch of maybe 16 or 17 turtles, maybe 2 survive. So these turtles have a lot to live for. And if it's not people stopping to get them and keep them as pets, it's wildfires or prescribed burns. These turtles, their natural instinct is not like a gopher tortoise. They don't burrow. They like to find pine straw and dig up under it to get away from the fire when it comes. Now, one thing about pine straw we Southerners know is that it's really flammable. So when these turtles are up under that pine straw, that fire just cooks them alive. We've got some examples of some shells that were found recently after prescribed burns and some wildfires.
Okay, this next lizard I'm bringing out right here is called an eastern fence web. Many people may see them because they're really common. They're kind of brown, they can be reddish in color, and they have a rocky pattern on their scale-wise. Now, the way you tell the difference between a male and a female is the male during mating season will have a blue chin and a blue belly, sometimes even a purple and black in color. This is a male. He's only barely lightly still got that because their mating season's about over with. There is a female over there where he's at, but mainly when you see these, they're going to be around pine trees and pine forest areas, especially any longleaf pines that may be planted in the area. You'll see them running up and down pine trees or under logs. They eat mainly crickets and other insects that they can find.
Alright, now y'all, this animal I'm bringing out right now is a little feisty with me tonight. So if I do wind up getting bit, I'm in no harm whatsoever. It happens. This is actually an eastern king snake. This is something many of you farmers or who grew up on a farm might recognize. Eastern king snakes are a really beneficial snake, especially in the southeast. They eat other snakes. And that's one thing that people really should know. They like to eat rattlesnakes. Rattlesnakes and cottonmouths, all venomous snakes that live here in Georgia, and we have 6. No, there is not such a thing here in Georgia as a poisonous snake. And you see him whipping around my arm right now. He's frustrated because I'm trying to hold him a little bit. I don't feel like getting bit. So these snakes tend to hang around old farms and old homesteads that are abandoned. And some people call them chain snakes. One, because they look like they have black chains around them on this black body. Now, these king snakes, their defense mechanism is one thing. It's not to bite, even though this thing really wants to bite me. It's musk. Snakes secrete a musk, which is kind of like a urine and a regurgitant all in one. Makes it smell bad, it makes predators want to go away from it.
Alright, this next snake that we're bringing out are actually 2. My brother has one also. They're gray rat snakes. Some people may know them as oak snakes or chicken snakes. This one is no longer a juvenile, but he's about medium size. This one is an adult, but they can reach longer than this, sometimes reaching 7 or 8 foot. Now, they are extremely good climbers, and in the rat snake family, they have cousins also. They have the black rat snake, which is mainly found up in North Georgia. They have the yellow rat snake, mainly found in coastal Georgia, and they also have the red rat snake, which is also known as the corn snake, which is also around these parts that can be found. They mainly eat bird eggs, anything out of bird nests that they can get up and find, including the birds themselves. They eat rats, squirrels, other rodents that they can basically fit in their mouth and eat. Now these are about the most commonly seen that you're going to find around Coffee County or anywhere in Georgia, especially South Georgia, where the region we're in right now. They mainly stay around barns, anywhere basically you can find them. Anywhere that there's a rat, you'll find an oak snake right here or a gray rat snake.
Alright, now y'all, this animal I'm bringing out right now is kind of how I started to get my name. This is a common snapping turtle. Her name is Patsy. Patsy is about 60 years old, and she comes from the Ambrose area here in Coffee County. Now, like her name implies, she's a snapping turtle for one reason. She sits and waits at the bottom of a pond, river, lake, and waits for fish to swim near her mouth. She has a tongue that's shaped like a little worm, and that tongue that looks like a worm draws in fish. So she just sits and waits with her mouth open for a fish to come in. When that fish gets close enough, her jaws snap in the split of a second. Now, I can demonstrate real quick what that turtle does. I'm going to try and hold her like this. Actually, I'm going to put her on my knee. So she sits in the water, and if I can get her to open her mouth here. She waits like that, and when something gets close, she snaps. Now that wasn't much of a snap. She's normally used to this. She's a little tired tonight because we've had her out all day. But, snapping turtle.
Okay, I got an American bull. Now, he is wet and slippery, so I'm trying to hang on to him the best I can if he was to happen to jump out of my grip here. They also have many frogs around your pond that you may think are American bullfrog, maybe green or bronze frogs or pig frog, but the way you tell the difference is when you open up their toes right here, notice how the middle toe, the webbing, don't go all the way to the end, it stops halfway. Well, American bullfrog, the webbing stops halfway. On pig frogs or green or bronze frogs, the webbing will actually extend all the way to the end. Now, these are mostly common around these parts. They eat anything that they can find, because I have seen them eat smaller frogs, baby snakes, baby fish, anything that they can find around a pond area that they will eat. They do get bigger than this. If anyone's ever seen any around the Louisiana area, they get almost the size of 2 handfuls.
Alright, this next animal I'm bringing out is very important to Georgia. This is our Georgia state reptile. And this is a gopher tortoise. The gopher tortoises years back were critically endangered and on the verge of extinction. They're now listed as a threatened species here in Georgia. These animals live for about 90 to 120 years. And I have one over in West Green just down from my house that is 96 years old. And if you come by after the show, I can explain to you, because it takes some detail, how you tell how old a gopher tortoise is. Or any turtle for that matter. It's a general estimate, so she could be around that age. This one here comes from Ambrose, and it's about 30 to 40 years old. These tortoises live in burrows, and those burrows can go for 25 to 30 feet underground. Their burrows create a home for other wildlife that they share this region with, Wiregrass, Georgia. The pocket mouse, the field mouse, gopher frogs, pine snakes, rattlesnakes, indigo snakes, all beneficial animals to our environment. And this one little tortoise here creates this whole microhabitat for them when they dig a hole. So this is a gopher tortoise.
All right, this next snake I have here, they are pretty aggressive, but this right here is an eastern garter snake. Now many people probably see these around their yard or anywhere that you may go, you'll usually see a garter snake. Many people usually think that garter snakes are always black and have yellow stripes. But where we live at in this region, they're actually checkered. This one has a light blue phase tint to him, but they will have the blue, really blue in color sometimes and be checkered in these parts. They eat mainly on toads and other amphibians that they can find. However, they will eat insects and baby mice, anything of that nature. This is an extremely common snake, as I was mentioning earlier, to find around here, and they are pretty aggressive if you ever see one and try to pick one up.
Alright, now I've got a little guy on my finger right here, and some of you might be able to see him, some of you might not, but we'll have him on display after the show. This is a barking tree frog. Now, Georgia is home to about 20 species of tree frogs. Their smaller cousins, the squirrel tree frogs, are considered glass frogs, grass frogs, or rain frogs. But this barking tree frog is one people rarely see. After a good rain here in South Georgia, these frogs tend to come out of the tops of pine trees. Their favorite pine tree being the longleaf pine. Now these frogs grow to be about as big as the palm of my hand. This one's pretty big for a barker. They breed from early May until late July after every rain. And these things, like I said, rarely come out the tops of trees more than 16 to 20 times a year, unless it's to breed or come down after a rain. Now this year we've had good rains, and I was lucky to have a friend find this one for me to use in the show tonight. Unlike other tree frogs, this one's not as skittish as some, and they hop farther than some tree frogs. The little tree frogs you see crossing the road after the rain, they bounce a little bit. Toads just kind of hop. These tree frogs bounce across the road. They bounce up to 3 to 4 feet in their leaps. This little guy, he likes to eat other frogs, other tree frogs at that.
Alright, this next lizard I have here is a 6-line race runner. Many people may see them around pine tree areas or any woodlands that you have, but mainly sand hills. If you'll notice the stripes on him, that's where they get their name. They got 6 yellow stripes here, and they are the fastest lizard that we have here in Georgia. Extremely fast, and they mainly eat on insects such as crickets and other animals. Alright, the next frog I have here is a southern toad. When many people see a toad frog, this is mainly what you're seeing, a southern. There are oak toads and Fowler's toads and also spadefoot toads and American toads, but mainly down here, if you're ever in this region and you see a toad, it's going to be a southern toad. They like crossing roads late at night, and they eat insects, any other bugs that they can find, and it's a pretty great frog to have because they mainly eat mosquitoes.
Now the reason I'm not holding these is because they're so tiny and they'd be so hard for me to get on this gym floor if I let them out here. There are cricket frogs in here and some dwarf salamanders and a spotted salamander. South Georgia is home to about 30 to 40 species of amphibians at any given time of the year. Now, the tip of a pin as babies, all the way up to our barking tree frogs, which is the largest species of tree frog we have here, and then to the American bullfrog, which is our largest frog in the state. Now, these cricket frogs like to live around small, shallow pools after rains where they go to breed. And you find these shallow pools that are called vernal wetlands, or vernal pools. These frogs live up to 2 to 4 years, and they stay about this size, about the size of a dime. You can come by and see them after the show. But they hop further than the barking tree frog over there will. These things can hop 4 to 5 feet at a time. It's because their body is so small, but their legs are so long compared to the body-to-leg ratio. So these are cricket frogs. Now the dwarf salamander I have in here and the spotted salamander are two species of salamander we have here in South Georgia. Salamanders, some people call them water dogs or mud puppies around here, but they are salamanders. Salamanders tend to eat small invertebrates under wet logs, wet debris after a rain. You might see one across the road during the night when it's cool during the summer, about 60 degrees sometimes. But these things tend to live strictly under rotten logs and things.
Alright, this may be what y'all been wanting to see here. This is American alligator. Chris has a juvenile there with him.
Okay, hold on a minute, guys. Y'all are on Georgia soil and y'all have brought out a gator. Really? Okay, how many Georgia fans have we got in the house tonight? Come on, raise your voice, raise your hands. Start clapping, start cheering. Okay, the thing is, how many gator fans do we have here tonight? See? Escort her out, security, there she is. Okay, the thing about it is, tonight we only have 2 gators that are here to support our cause. But they had to be caught and brought. So those actually be carried back across to the Florida line and escorted back out of Georgia. Because tonight we actually have several guys from the Georgia Dogs here tonight who are here to support our cause. Y'all give them a round of applause. I'm going to let them introduce themselves, except for Parker Welch. I'm introducing him. Last year, because I wasn't really familiar with the football team, you probably remember this, but as embarrassed as any time I have ever been in my life, that guy right there in the gray shirt is moving. They all came in and I thought he was Aaron Murray because I knew Aaron was coming. So Casey brings Parker to me and says, "Who is this?" I didn't want to answer him. So Casey did it anyway, and I still didn't want to answer him. But Parker was nice. He was real sweet, didn't get offended. So I'm going to let Parker finish telling about himself, and then Mr. Rankin.
All right, well, like she said, my name is Parker Welch. I'm actually an alumni. Just finished this last season of my senior season. I played quarterback since 2010 of this past season, and hope we can enjoy a good weekend with you guys.
My name is Ryan Rankin. I'm from Orlando, Florida. I know about some gators and stuff like that, some reptiles. I'm going to be my sophomore year, play linebacker, and looking forward to have a good weekend with you guys.
Yeah, name's Glenn Welch. This guy's little brother. Just finished my freshman year and play offensive line. Looking forward to have a good home field.
What's up, guys? I'm Michael Bennett from Alpharetta, Georgia, up there in Yuppieville. I play receiver here at University of Georgia. I'm going to my senior year, and excited to be here with you guys. So we get some hogs, and looking forward to meet everyone. So.
Let's give them one more round of applause. Thank you guys for coming out and taking our fun this week. And now y'all can continue with your gators.
Well, as we were saying, these are American alligators. He has a juvenile. This one can still be considered a juvenile, but it's about close to 2 years old now. They can be common in parts, especially if you have a pond or a lake around your area. And I'll let Chris tell you where that one right there was actually found here a few days ago.
So this alligator actually, due to contrary belief, came from Douglas, Georgia. Yes, there are alligators living within the city limits of Douglas here. Creeks, they can sustain themselves in small creeks, small ponds, little runs. As long as they find a place to eat and a place to cross, they'll get anywhere. That includes the sewer systems. Yes, sewer gators are real. This little baby alligator here is probably less than 3 or 4 weeks old. He was just hatched. Now, this little alligator would have ran into many problems if he would have grown up to be a 5 or 6 foot alligator in Douglas, Georgia. I mean, obviously. So this little alligator and this one here are going to be relocated later on, right after our show here this weekend. And that basically concludes alligator.
If we'll be set up at our booths here, we may be down at TNL Outdoor or Adams and Lot. We'll be in this area. If you have any questions, we'd like y'all to stop by and we'll be sure to answer them for y'all. We'd like to thank y'all for coming and watching our show tonight. We will be here again at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Thank y'all.
If I could get everybody's attention, any hunters, if you do not have a rifle ticket and you're hunting, it's a little white rifle ticket you should have gotten when you checked in. Do all the hunters have one of those? Okay. Christian, you want to come draw these? Yeah, pull that over here. Okay, we got a couple of gift certificates we're going to give out here. You'll spin that, reach in there and grab one, pull it out and read the name. Okay, let's see. The first winner, we got the wrong part of the ticket. The last 3 is 965. This is a $10 Google Play gift card. 965. We didn't get the name on that one. Okay, we're going to hold that one for the time being. Get another one.
Hey, there's one stuck in the back.
See if that thing about. Okay, this is for another Google Play $10 gift certificate. Oh, we got the wrong tickets on. Okay. Malaya Nixon.
Forgot what it looks like.
Okay, we got a $10 Chick-fil-A gift certificate. Seth Horn. got a Bass Pro Shop gift certificate. Drew Aldridge. Okay, we got a $15 iTunes gift certificate for Bill Sharp. Bill Sharp. Got another gift certificate from iTunes. Christopher Fussell. Got a gift certificate from Burger King. Jason Sisk. Got a Taco Bell gift certificate. Eric Greenwood. Eric Greenwood. Got another Chick-fil-A gift certificate. Hunter Nixon. Hunter Nixon. Hey Hunter, congratulations. Yep. And here's the last one. And if we could get all of the hunters, if y'all will come, everybody that's hunting, if you'll come on down at this time. And our last winner is Austin Sanchez. But all the hunters, if you would, please come down. Okay. Okay, and we also, okay. This was all donated by Strolled and Rolled, and we want to appreciate them. Okay, where are the hunters? Are all the hunters up? Everybody that's hunting, are they up here? If y'all all come down here, we're going to give you a t-shirt. If the t-shirt doesn't fit, we can get the size right for you. If you'll see Miss Carol if the shirt's not right. Okay, what size is that one? I'll tell you what.